How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today we're going to talk about how if you don't participate in a sale, you're actually saving 100%. Of course, you don't get the item at all, but sometimes you just don't need the item. I have a talent of being able to walk into most stores, browse anything I want really, and not being able to get sucked into buying something. This includes places like Target, Costco, or even the mall. Now, if you have the willpower or the thought process to be able to avoid all these sales, you can actually save a lot of money, which would contribute to helping you retire a bit earlier. I usually hear about how people get a really good deal or something, so they said, oh my gosh, I got 50-60% off, but then they ended up paying like $100 for a shirt or something. The mentality here is that they think the item is worth $200 because the list price is $200. They mark it down 50% off, so they think, oh my gosh, they're saving so much money. So they think they're saving $100 where in fact they actually spent $100 instead. In previous videos, I've gone through methods at which you can use in order to buy nothing. For this video, I subjected myself to some really good deals on Amazon Prime Day. Now this is all in the name of trying to figure out how I get away from not buying anything, just kind of analyzing myself. I was able to discover new methods at which you can use to unchain yourself from the need to buy a certain item. Now if I weren't going to do this video, I most likely would have just tried to not look at the Amazon Prime deals at all, because I know if I look at the deals, I might get sucked into the sales where I go, oh my gosh, it's so much percent off, I'm gonna go buy it as well. So looking at the page is a way for you to discover new products, and suddenly you need to buy something that you never heard of, that you never wanted in the first place. So let me go through a really real example, because I actually almost bought an Amazon Echo because it was 50% off. It was $180 and then it was a 50% off of that, so it was only $90. Usually if I'm about to buy some item on Amazon, I would go to camel.com to check out the price history of that Amazon item. In this case, the Amazon Echo hovered at around $180 most of the time, and sometimes it dipped to all the way down to $130. So the price of $90 appears to be a bit lower than the minimum, so this is a good thing. This allows me to know that the sale price they're charging is actually pretty good. Half off is actually a huge motivator, because if you think about it, they cut the price in half, and later on if you do not buy it, you're gonna have the fear of losing out, because after the sale price is not there anymore, the price is gonna come back up, and then you're gonna have this weird bad feeling that, oh no, I missed out on this deal, I could have bought it for $90. So this bad feeling, and everybody has had this before, they remember this bad feeling, and this is another motivator for you to buy something that is really highly marked down. A good way to get away from this fear of losing out type of mentality is to realize that usually when they cut something so harshly, it's either that nobody wants the product or they're about to introduce a brand new product sometime 6 to 12 months down the line. So it's 50% off now, so maybe they're going to introduce an Amazon Echo 2 later on with all these brand new features that it's going to be at the same price. That's why it's cheaper now. Another good deterrent in helping you not buy this product is to not look at the MSRP of the product, but actually try to value the product and how much you think it's actually worth. If you just look at the original MSRP, it's just some number that someone made up in order to mark it up above the cost of producing it. So what you should really do is just kind of wipe this original MSRP price off your mind. Think about how much this device is worth to you. It's a voice activated thing, yes, is new, but what does it really do for you? It says you can change the light if you buy all these other gizmos that would cost you another $100 or $2 more. You can ask it for a whole bunch of different things, but it's the convenience, the additional convenience, that might be the added feature. You can actually still do all of this without as much convenience. It's sort of like a new technology toy that you can play with really. So you just have to imagine without the price tag, how much you would actually pay for something like that. If I think about it that way, I might just value this device at, I don't know, like $60, $70, $80. In this case, you don't think about how much is actually marked down from the MSRP, but how much is value to you compared to how much they're charging you, even with this huge markdown. This huge markdown is actually an artificial thing. They held the price artificially high just so that they can reduce the price at some point and all these people will flock in and buy it. In fact, out of all this, I was still seriously considering buying this device. So I was more and more curious about this device, so I ended up watching the ads that were attached on that page. The deterrent that ultimately worked for me was actually watching the ad to the very end where the little girl said goodbye to the Alexa. I thought that the little girl treating Alexa as a person by saying goodbye to it was a little too weird for me. So what I'm trying to say here is if you're really hooked on buying something and you're really interested and you can't get yourself away from buying some item, then you should try to look at all the marketing materials and try to find flaws with it that might rub you the wrong way. Once you do it, it's a lot easier to not buy that item. You can also do the same thing by looking at the negative reviews and see why you should not buy a certain item. Because if you end up watching just all the material that they present to you, all the features, and you just keep on looking at the ads, it's always going to be really good stuff. You're going to be tempted to buy it because they're presenting all the best features of the device to you. So you really need to look for the flaws and also the bad reviews to help you out in kind of prying yourself away from wanting this item at all. It's like that monotonic robot voice that really put me off. That is why I ultimately did not buy this Alexa item. Another reason I did not buy this is I do not enjoy a mic that's always active within my living space. It means something is always listening to what I'm saying. If I'm having a private conversation, it just very well could be recording that. It could be prone to hacks where people can actually listen in, just like a laptop with a camera, where if you're actually not using the camera, you really should cover it up, just in case you got a virus where people can actually snoop into your camera or your mic, in fact. This device touts that you can play music, but generally for me, I don't always have music on all the time. Generally, I find it sort of intrusive because I cannot hear myself think really. A positive point of all this is that if you actually have this device, just kind of like with the early Kindles, they would give you actually a really good deal on other things that you buy. For example, they have these $10 off coupons for something that you buy on their deal page. So then you can effectively save $10. And if you do that, you know, a couple times, you're gonna have a couple rounds of these, I think, and then you would save $10, $20, $30 off of the actual price of the unit. Another thing that I almost got sucked into on Amazon Prime Day is buying an Instant Pot. Now these things are pressure cookers and I've never owned one before. I'm really interested in one of these, but the marketing material says that it helps you speed up your food prep time. On this channel, I mainly do finance videos, but I have previously done cooking videos where I show you how to cook really quickly. Now, if you're able to cook a meal really quickly anyway, then it sort of renders this Instant Pot not as useful, because the whole idea with buying this thing, it says, is that you can prepare food really quickly. With that in mind, I also thought that a pot that's $90 is a little bit overpriced. I would value that thing at, I don't know, $60. So maybe if one day it went down to that price, I might just give it a try. But for now, I don't need to buy it. I hope you enjoyed these examples of how I actually maneuver in actually not buying the item that I'm actually really interested in. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below. Let me know if you almost bought those items or if you actually did buy those items on Amazon Prime Day. If you're interested in supporting my channel, don't forget to check out my Audible link down in the video description below, where you can get a free audiobook, and if you don't like the audiobook or the service, you can cancel it before the trial period ends. And you can still keep the audiobook even if you cancel it, and you can still help benefit this channel. I also have a Patreon over here, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.